And here we are back with EGF Season 3, Week 14. I am here with Twin Salty. We're also powered by Intel. Don't want to forget that. But Twin Salty is here with us. Worstcast did take a break. Gonna be, coming back maybe next week. But today, we do have Wichita State University versus Villanova. And to be quite honest with you, Twin, Wichita State is looking pretty hot coming in here, while Villanova is on a bit of a skid, and they need to kind of find a way to stop that, ball from rolling downhill.
I think the ball has already started rolling downhill a while ago for Villanova. There's still time to bring it back, so it doesn't look as bad, but they've yet to win a map the entire season. It's a little bit of a rough going for them this season. Then you have Wichita, maybe one of the hottest teams in the league right now. They just took down Colorado last week. It is an incredibly tough draw for Villanova to try and win this game, but you never know. Even for them, like, if they win a few fights, if they win a round, like, if they get close with a team like Wichita State, you gotta think, at least morally, it's a win.
Yeah, I mean, stick it close for Villanova is probably the name of the game here. Obviously, still working on some of the fundamentals, getting their teamwork and their coordination, cooperation, all in sync. Obviously, this season hasn't gone the way they wanted it to, but that's the whole point behind perseverance. Getting in here and making sure that you get those fundamentals down for maybe the next season.
Yeah, just get those fundamentals down. You have, what, 4 weeks after this to try and build up the resume just a little bit more. And, go out on a good note. And that's all they can really ask for at this point is, teams are starting to get ready for those conference tournaments, as the MAC conference has theirs this weekend, and the Central and East will have theirs in about a month or so. But here we go. Busan can be starting with downtown, and Villanova trying to make their way to point.
Yeah, Villanova gets to make their namesake here, as they are the first ones to push down into that stairwell. That's where they want to take the fight, and that's where Wichita is going to engage, as TW going to be dropping in, and Dampley is the one that finds the kill off the back of that engagement. And even though they are the first ones to touch point, they are the first ones to drop a member, and it's going to give Wichita State more than enough to start putting the damage in all around, as another slam going to come through. Beautifully done. Imo already down. Fluffy Bunny is the one to take that out, and Bap and May being hard pressured out for Villanova. The cap went to Villanova at the start, but slowly and surely that is going to go right back to Wichita as they find the kills they need to flip it.
Yeah, they're going to flip this really quick. Yeah, Fluffy but Deadly is just doing work on the Sombra so far. Hacks Blue Falcon, so they can't move, can't get out of the way of the Pulse Bomb from Hanbei, and it is an easy fight win for WSU. And they wanted Villanova to go into that little drop zone. It allows TW to go in with the pile drive, force a lot of damage, and it's just going to be time and time again. They're going to do the exact same thing, rotate, hack, goes in, there goes elimination. It's almost like clockwork at this point.
Yeah, and the hack coming through on the Diva is a very nice way to, maybe prevent some of that follow-up damage coming through off of the flashbang. And I love that they didn't have to invest the mines at the initial start of that fight. They drop it in on the point where they're trying to go, and that is where the cleanup is going to take place, right on those stairs again. And Villanova's finding it very tough to push in right now.
Yeah, finding it very difficult to push in because you have to look out for damage from so many different angles. You got Fluffy but Deadly, who now is EMP in the backline. So is Hanbei. You can see they're going to set up for the EMP right now. There it goes. 6 on. And, oh, there goes 4.
Yeah, Dampley sitting there, going to get the play of the game, but set up beautifully by Fluffy but Deadly, and that was easy communication and an easy drop for the bomb to drop right onto 4 members. And Villanova in a bit of a scramble now as time is ticking away.
You gotta think, that would have been 5 if the Pulse Bomb didn't go through as well, from Hanbei able to steal one of those eliminations away from Dampley. But this is the Wichita State we saw last week against Colorado, even though both DPS taken out early, and maybe Villanova can take advantage.
Yeah, Villanova doing a great job of peeling back there. That's the first time they punished Fluffy for, getting a little bit over-aggressive. The flash comes through and the follow-up damage is hit. Now Sparky going to be dropping that Transcendus for Wichita State, just trying to delay it as much as they can. Unfortunately, Trasher is going to be the one that goes down from the Deadeye. A nice eat, though, from Dampley on the other side for Taiga. And now it's going to be just nothing but Villanova in the kill feed with the flip already coming through, and they do end up taking the point back off of a beautiful fight.
A beautiful fight, a beautiful double environmental kill coming in from Blue Falcon allows them to have that sound barrier now for this next fight. Probably going to use it either to counteract Rally or this minefield coming in from TW.
Yeah, and Taiga already invested that Blizzard in the previous fight, so not going to be there for this one, as Immo is going to save anybody from dropping to these mines, but another bomb going to be dropping onto the point. Shields are going to be busted for Villanova, and now it's just chaos on the point for them, as they are desperately trying to freeze up TW and get him out of this fight, and they are being backed into a corner. Pulse bomb, shatter, everything being thrown out, but unfortunately it's the pulse bomb that opens up the door, and now Villanova getting pushed back as the point is slowly being ticked over for Wichita State as they clean up the rest of the members. Now it's time for Villanova just to touch.
Yeah, Villanova gonna have to touch. I have a feeling it'll be Blue Falcon. You can see them on the right-hand side of your screen starting to make their way to point, gonna try and get that touch. And they do. Last second, they die for it. They use their ultimate. They try to use their ultimate for it. It's gonna be unsuccessful. And there goes round one, 100-62 in favor of the Shockers. Villanova, though, they did show some signs of life. It's kind of been the trend with them this season. They'll show little signs of it here and there. And again, honestly, against a team like the Shockers, that is progress to be made. We'll just have to see if they can build upon it throughout the rest of the series.
And maybe you're seeing it too, Twin, but what I'm seeing from Wichita State is this level of calm, right? I was giggling there for a second because I saw Blue Falcon coming over the top and I was thinking, oh man, how is TW going to stop him from touching? Are they even going to try? They let him touch, they kill him, and then they have a plan to immediately follow up that play. It's the state of calmness that Wichita State is playing this game out is why I think they are so far ahead of Villanova right now, and most other teams in the EGF is because they know what they need to do to win and they will follow through. Now we get to see if they know what to do on this map, and they have proven it in the past. They are very good on this map. And Villanova is going to come out with a little bit different setup on the Cassidy with the double shield, but the hack's going to come through on Myphus first, as no damage being pumped through because they focused in on Zenz, which is the Baptiste, and now it's all going to come down to Blue Falcon. Fluffy Bo Devly drops on the other side. Not going to be missing that damage too much as he put in a ton of work, you know, making Blue Falcon hate his life. And there it is, Blue Falcon going down. Villanova just going to be dropping a little bit slower than the last one, but that is the comp. It's a little slower than the other one.
Yeah, a little bit slower, but also I would say a little more cleaner that time around. You know, Wichita looked a little more organized on target calling. Last time it was like, oh, you got 3 on the back line, you got 3 in the front line, but the job gets done no matter what. The level of communication right now between the DPS line and the tank line is insane because they're diving the exact same targets. Fluffy is calling out those hacks all the time. It's not going to be a very fun round for Zenz and Blue Falcon because they're getting targeted pretty hard right now. And here we go. Here comes another engage.
Yeah, and there's the hero of the day, TW jumping in for Fluffy but Deadly, you know, taking that rock so the partner in crime didn't go down. And this is like one of the worst variations, as you said, for the Zen and the BAP with the Tracer and the Sombra and the ball. Makes it incredibly tough to even get to the point. But now that they're here, they have found themselves in a bit of a power position because these double shields are going to be putting a lot of angles down for Wichita State, but the hack's going to come through, finding multiple members, and TW and Fluffy but Deadly are there to capitalize on it, and it's just Taiga trying to keep the fight going, and it's not going to happen for him. No ice block, and that's the fight for Wichita State, and a very clean one again.
Yeah, another clean fight. You gotta wonder maybe Nova swapping it up a little bit soon because Taiga, yes, you can slow down the ball and you can slow down damply, but they're never really able to get a full freeze going just because of the movement speed of the majority of this comp that they're going against. And it's not like they're ever getting to Sparky or Trasherlin. As another 6-man EMP, the bomb, I think, didn't go exactly where they wanted it to go, but they're still able to clean up some of these eliminations. And actually, the freeze goes through, able to take out TW, but I don't think it'll be enough for them to win the fight, but enough for them to kind of slowly still make progress around the map.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be enough for them to pressure the point, and the fact that they survived with just Blue Falcon going down, and they have nothing but ultimates on the board, and Blue Falcon will have his eventually as well. Zenz didn't even get the amp off, so now it's just going to be the amp from the Orisa, and it does look like that'll be just enough. And honestly, investing about 4 ults there with Blue Falcon coming in on the back is exactly what you need to do to take this point away, because they came in initiating with the EMP, you survived it, and now Villanova gets to swap the point over for basically free after only dropping Blue Falcon.
Yeah, that was honestly pretty good from Nova. The soft reset, making sure everybody can still have the rotation around drum side and then make their way to point. But now is going to be the tricky part where, yeah, Fluffy but Deadly hunts down Blue Falcon, easy elimination for them there. and now they can start pressing forward yet again.
Yeah, and there's the pressure from Hambi and Twin just getting in there, or TW, I should say, just getting in there and making Blue Falcon's life a living hell, just trying to stay alive for the team, but no one was there to peel, and that's going to be Wichita State flipping and winning our first map of Busan in a very dominant fashion.
Pretty dominant fashion. The communication's just on point every single time. Fluffy but Deadly's having great callouts. TW, Dampley as well, jumping on those targets. You called it earlier, Prepaid. Dampley's going to get the play of the game. Knows this EMP is about to come through, sends the bomb. There goes EMP. They can't get out of the way. Would have been 5 if the pulse bomb didn't go off, but it's just great plays after great plays from Wichita State. They're not slacking. You know, sometimes teams can get complacent when they're playing teams lower in the table, and Wichita State, they're not doing that. They're sticking to business, and they showed it there.
Yeah, Dampley gets all the credit, but I tell you what, I didn't even notice TW dropping in from over the top and making it so nobody could run away.
Yep.
That's such an interesting way that they develop plays and how they set up and really pull the trigger and just go as fast as possible, leaving Villanova no room to breathe. But, you know, that round, Wichita State put a pretty big stamp on it. Unlike our last series where there was a bit, like DePaul was fighting back, they even took a round off of William and Mary.
Yeah.
This one seems a little bit more, you know, in line of what we expected. But you brought it up earlier. Villanova doing a really good job of, you know, kind of making it, you know, fights. You know, they're putting fights in, right? And yeah, they aren't winning, but they do find fight after fight, and eventually they get it through.
Yeah, honestly, for them, again, it's progress. You think on paper, they haven't won a map all season. They at least, some of those fights were very winnable, and it was a good play from Dampley. It was a good play from TW that swung it around.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking winnable in some of these fights, and honestly, maybe one of these maps in this map pool, maybe Numbani coming up, is something that's going to favor their map pool. I think Volskaya is probably the map they're going to have the most fortune on in the first 3, because Numbani is going to be dive central, and Wichita State's already shown they love that kind of play style. We haven't really seen it from Villanova quite yet today.
Yep.
So I have a feeling they might be already leaning towards map 3, but you just never know with some of these teams. And again, they showed a little bit of progress, and that's honestly all you can ask of them so far.
Yeah, and it does look like we're going to get some information on some subs that are going to come through. But let me shift gears here real quick, Twin. I did tell you I was going to mention this a little bit earlier, but Overwatch 2 beta does have their sign up on the Overwatch website. Go ahead and get over there as fast as you can because it is promising to be full very quickly. And in that beta, they are going to have new maps, new heroes for everyone to be testing out. They want your feedback, and they put out a wonderful developer video for all of us to go watch. And they promise us a little bit more interaction with the community. So go ahead and get on over there. And Twin, what are your thoughts on Overwatch 2 here real quick before we get into this next one?
I'm excited. I think obviously there's some things that need to be shown still on how 5v5 is going to work, especially in the competitive scene like EGFC.
Right.
But I do think it could really lead to some very interesting compositions, and it can get really creative. And I love that Rush is coming in. It'll be like Control, but like completely changed. It's, I mean, like Control and 2CP had a baby. It'll be really weird to see how that game would plays out. But I'm really excited for it. And I think for Villanova, maybe that's something they need as well as a little bit of change of scenery. And that's what they're going to get here for map number 2, including a substitution coming in. Happy Sparrow going in for Blue Falcon, and you know, maybe now that they want to stick to this double shield, maybe Sparrow's more comfortable on the Zen. We didn't get to see Blue Falcon do very much because they were getting dove 24/7. But maybe Numbani will, you know, be an alright first map for Happy Sparrow.
Yeah, and the setup coming through for Wichita State early as they get behind Villanova, and they know they're there, but it's going to be incredibly tough for them to respond to it in any way as the Happy Sparrow does end up surviving that initial dive. So, you know, round 1 going to Villanova as far as that goes, as Wichita State starts putting the pressure in from all different angles as they have sky control. The turret is already down, and it's down once more as the rest of Wichita State starts cleaning up this fight. And they have been struggling with this dive ever since round 1. And there we see it again. The dive comes through, and this time with a bit of an echo variation.
Yeah, I actually like the preemptive swap from Villanova, putting Nate the Cat over on the Torb, because they're probably thinking, oh, it's going to be another Sombra. We can have the turret in the back to try and deal with the Sombra. But then Fluffy but Deadly goes on the Echo, and that completely changes how you need to have your composition. I think Nate the Cat was trying to swap, but the point was captured just a little bit too quickly, so they couldn't. Taiga's now going to just extra emphasis on looking for Fluffy but Deadly in the sky, but also having to protect his backline from TW and Hanbei, and it's a lot to ask of your hit scan so far. And I thought that you got somebody for a second. It's just the turret that's gonna be taken out. Yeah, turrets' lives matter too. And yeah, these dives, they're so crucial right now. They're so clinical. Window's gonna come out. It ain't gonna do much, sadly, for Zens, and this card's just gonna keep moving forward.
Yeah, I can appreciate that you're saying that, like, these teams definitely are having trouble with this dive, and it's tough, especially with the multiple different angles that are coming through. Wichita State is clearly very practiced on a lot of these comps as they take the space that's needed in order to cap the second point. They'll continue to put the pressure even into the spawn of the defenders, but Nate the Cat is not going to swap because he does want to use this Molten Core. I'm expecting them to do one last contest here on Streets just to get down and dirty, but the duplicate's going to come through, and it does look like it's just going to be a quick roll there for Myfris, obviously going down very quickly. Bomb Damply gets 2 and the turret, unfortunately, but Molten Core isn't going to be enough to deter them from capping that point. Now they got 5:28 to do whatever they want.
Yeah, they have a lot of time on their hands, and they are going to go into the Soldier now, Nate the Cat, so dealing with Fluffy but Deadly more head-on, and now Taiga can put more focus on looking for Hanbei and TW in the backline. I wouldn't mind if Happy Sparrow swapped to maybe Brig to try and deal with the backline pressure as well. I'm not sure if that's in their hero pool or not, but it could be something we see later on as they're going to try and hold this corner, and that is a very unfortunate first kill. Fluffy but Deadly taking out all the speed for the Reinhardt.
Yeah, Fluffy but Deadly finding that initial pick is going to open up the opportunities that Wichita State needs, and they do not hesitate even a little bit as the kills just roll through. And now Wichita State only needs to control the respawns. A desperation bomb from Tyler, not desperate as all as 2 go down on the back end, and the respawns need to get through and touch. Otherwise, it's just going to be over in this round, and I don't know what happened. Oh, there it is. He had a bit of lag on our side. Woo! That was a bit suspenseful at the end, not knowing if the double punch was going to matter for Damply, but it ended up mattering because no one could touch. Woo! What a nice round from Wichita.
Yeah, what a nice round from Wichita. A rough intro to the series, I think, for Happy Sparrow. They got, other than that first fight, they lived for a little bit. After that, they were just getting dove on 24/7. Welcome to the series, Happy Sparrow. Yep. Definitely not the series you maybe wanted to jump into, but, you know, I'm curious to see what Villanova's going to pull out. It is quite a punch in the mouth, the first 15 minutes of this series has been. For Wichita, and for Villanova, it's kind of been what a lot of their season's been up to this point, sadly. And, you know, maybe swapping the roles, putting Zens on that main support and now putting Happy Sparrow on the flex support. Maybe that changes up something. You just never know. They're going to try and run something else with the dive, and I at least like to see they're wanting to try something. They're not giving up and just running the same rush or the same double shield over and over again. Then we kind of saw them fall into that trap a little bit on Busan Sanctuary, but they're going to be trying something different, and I think it could work if they can try and deal with Fluffy but Deadly in the air, and now they have to deal with Hanbei on the Doom.
And I think, you know, in the famous words of Ocean, okay, as someone, as we all know, anybody here that's a regular know that I cast with Ocean quite a bit, and I think what he would say in this situation is they are waiting for opportunities instead of creating opportunities. And that's what I think we're seeing a lot from Villanova, and it's going to be on them in this attack to actually create the opportunities. As the first dive comes through, doesn't quite find what they're looking for, as it is deterred very quickly from Wichita, especially with Fluffy up in that sky, controlling all of the angles for Villanova and getting them all incredibly low. And maybe Hanbei can jump right on in, looking like he's wanting to, looking for a target.
He already almost has. Yeah, he's almost got barrage. Like, he has barrage within 35 seconds. That is absurd.
Yeah, incredibly quick, and might have to use it in this fight alone. as Hanby goes down very, very quickly. Still just going to be pumping in the damage, though, and Villanova getting close to that first tick. They do end up getting it, and it is just kind of chaos right now. A lot of people spread out all over the point. High ground, low ground. Wichita State's kind of all over the place as well. And I suppose to be expected with a Doom Fair comp, right? It's just going to be the tanks kind of rolling with the supports. As Villanova gets close to a second tick, but Wichita State does end up recovering, and it's just going to be Doom Fair's kind of cleaning up most of these fights.
Yeah, it's just going to be Hanbei in the back just cleaning it up, and you know, if you're Nova, you get a tick on this point, 54%, just because Wichita, nobody really coordinated who was going to touch. The unfortunate thing is they have 5 ultimates, and Tyler just got staggered to oblivion, so you're going to have to wait another 10 seconds if you want to have a true push. And Fluffy but Deadly is going to try and make that stagger even longer. I don't think he's going to be able to, though. But, as you said, they were a long time waiting for opportunities instead of trying to create them. We saw a little bit of them trying to create opportunity, diving the back line. It didn't work out too well just because the peel was so good, and now the dive's coming in on the opposite end, and it's chaos for Nova right now.
It's so coordinated, Twin. Like, they just know, like, as soon as those rockets land, TW's already rolling through, and Hanbi is immediately there on the back end to clean up any stagger kills that need to come through. I'm just looking at Villanova, and I gotta ask you, I mean, how do they get through these transitional points, these rotations, without losing members?
If you want to try and get out, I think you gotta go underneath, I believe, underneath that point, just so you can avoid Fluffy but Deadly for a little bit. But then you risk Hanbei coming behind, and there's a lot of walls in there. So they're just gonna try and stay coordinated. The beat, at least to move in, gives you a little bit of health, except for Nate the Cat.
Honestly, they're just trying to brute force it at this point. They are committing beat incredibly early. Already has worn off, and we are already in the mid-fight as 2 members do go down. Initially, Nate the Cat, but now Happy Sparrow is a dead Sparrow, and it's all on Zenz to try to keep this one alive as Hanbi makes that not a reality as everybody on Villanova slowly drifts away. And now there's only just under a minute for Villanova to try to figure out another way. Maybe they take your advice and go underneath.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, you press Q in a coordinated way, and you hope for the best, right? Like, as long as you're trying being coordinated, maybe you use Deadeye to create some space up on the high ground to allow Nate the Cat some space. And then Taiga, maybe just even another zoning ult, put Blizzard on point so you can maybe get that second tick. And then you just gotta try and see if the cards fall your way. They're gonna go up on the high ground. They get remacked.
That remake kill is tragic for Zenz. Mindfulness is doing the best they can. Deadeye finds Fluffy but Deadly. That is a lot of damage down. Blizzard's going to be committed in the back end, but it is eaten up. Taiga, no! As everyone's going to be falling for Villanova in a cascade of ults, and even the pick that they got is going to be rezzed right back. And Wichita State, full strength and pushing forward. They are going to give them no room to breathe. Yes, Zenz will get the touch, but can anybody else even come close to saving this round for them? It doesn't look like it's going to be the case as Winston sadly hits the sign on his way in, and Wichita State yet again stamp it with a resounding victory in that last fight.
And that is exactly what you need the Shockers to do, right? Is you go in and you just make a statement like, all right, we're not having an off day today. We're still going to play the best Overwatch we can. You put one heck of a timing. Damply, this whole transition, you don't get to see the beginning of it. Eats Blizzard, gets one with the bomb, gets one with the Remac. That was the second Remac of that fight. We saw at the very beginning, takes out the Lucio. What more do you want Damply to do? Like, he was popping off last week. He was one of the big reasons they won last week against Colorado. He's another reason why they won that fight there. There was not a single barrage used. Even I think they could have built 4 or 5 throughout that map if they wanted to use them. I think it's more of an ego move. Like, we didn't even need to use barrage, and we're still just wiping the floor. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but Wichita State, they keep going, man. That's all they gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, not even having to use the barrage is something that's incredible in itself, but it's just a testament to their team play, right? Wichita State didn't need it. Didn't have to invest the dangerous barrage. Everyone always thinks barrage is a game changer. It can be on the opposite side too. Villanova could have got the pick and denied the res, and bing bang boom, they might get the point. So it's good that they didn't have to use it, but it's also good that they had it at all times in case of emergency. But for us right now, we are going to be taking a bit of a break, so go grab some popcorn, grab your drinks, try to cheer on your teams as we see Villanova and Wichita State on the other side of this break. Back again, EGF Season 3, Week 14, powered by Intel. Here with Twin Salty to kind of get back into the middle of this series between Villanova and Wichita State, where Villanova, had some good fights, but overall, Wichita State has been dominant so far.
Yeah, it's Wichita's world. We're kind of just living in it right now. Villanova, yeah, you can press Q. I think the only fights they've truly won is when they can press Q a ton, or they had that one good peel in the backline on Busan. We were talking about it during the break, where they've shown signs of a lot of coordination, being able to deal with those flankers in the back. We just haven't seen a lot of it up to this point. As we enter Volskaya, there's a chance they could do something, but you also wonder what the game plan is, because we've heard some people have swapped roles entering this third map, and not on the side you would think. It's Villanova that are changing some roles up, and normally you think, oh, it's the team that's steamrolling, that is maybe changing roles up to try something funny. No, it is the other side. So I'm curious to see what Villanova have up their sleeve, as Blue Falcon is now over onto tank, Tyler is now on DPS, and Taiga is subbed out. So
Yes.
maybe I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not
expecting
gonna
big
try and
things.
guess.
Yeah. Expected big things. I mean, you got Blue Falcon and Happy Sparrow, the Aviary brothers, in right now, ready to play the game. Tyler will be interested to see. That's a new flavor for us. And then
It's
Blue
the
Falcon
bird
on tank.
diff. It's the bird
the
diff.
bird diff. Of course. Of course, the bird diff. Obviously, for Wichita State, they didn't really make any huge swaps, so we'll get to see their normal roster.
Yeah, nobody subbed in or out. They're gonna say stay the same composition for the most part as well. I think the only change right now is going to be Fluffy but Deadly on the soldier to start, maybe expecting either a Widowmaker or some sort of air flex DPS, but instead they're just going to be able to see Nate the Cat on that Ash. And TW going to make their way in the back and try and move everybody around.
Yeah, Wichita State already making their way to the back line with Fluffy, Hondi, and TW. They are a three-man unit, as the other three-man unit is wrapping around the other side, trying to make a little bit of space as they all regroup on the high ground, putting the pressure on the Reaper. Just as Zenyatta Orb trying to keep him alive, pressure going to be put down. Mega is going to be grabbed, so Hanbi going to have to burn through a ton of health here in order to try to burn down that Reaper. In the meantime, up on this high ground, the battle has started, and the trading of damage has commenced as Soldier putting in a ton of work with that consistent damage, trying to just break these shields. As we all know, double shields is very tough, but Nate the Cat finds first pick, and it's going to be a nice dive come through from that three-man squad to really counteract what Fluffy going down right there. And now Wichita State putting all the pressure onto NateCap to try to carry, but there is no follow-up coming through from the heals as they dropped earlier, or they were just out of sight. And now the shields are not doing exactly what they thought they would do, and Villanova dropping one by one for Wichita to start capping this point.
It looked so good in the beginning of that fight for Villanova. They had high ground control. Seemed like Wichita was having issues trying to push forward. Tyler was having some good pressure underneath and got the DMAC. And then the dominoes started to fall. And one by one, in very quick succession, everybody in Villanova fell. And now 5.5 minutes on the clock for the Shockers to try and push in here and have a very good time bank. And part of that is going to be TW looking for this minefield.
Looking to do what they did on the first point is wrangle the other team in and get them in the position that they want, and Hanbi and TW able to just find the picks they need to find. Pulse Bomb gonna go out, put down a ton of damage. Immo already used. Tyler is the next one to fall, as it is just damage being rained in from over the top with slams and pulls and bumps all over the sides. No one able to move. Mines are gonna be dropped. And that is Wichita State really doing a great job of wrangling in their prey to really clamp down.
Yeah, and attack fire is going to be used as they know the Reaper is up there. Tyler now going to have to use Wraith just to even touch for a half of a second. Hanbe is going to take him out. That is quite an impressive time bank. 4.5 minutes left for Wichita State. You wonder you know, Villanova, because they get to pick sides going into this map because they lost the previous. And you wonder if they wanted to try and go with the defense first to try and make a stand, or if they knew, or if they were more trying to go like, hey, how well of an offense are we going to have because we may get rolled on defense. And I don't know if that was either of those options in their heads. It ended up being the second one though. It appears
It ended
as
up being the second one.
which
Oh my
just
God.
again, if it was Villanova, it is glimpses of greatness. They had the good close and top hold on A. They eventually got broke down. They never truly got set up on B because of the dive coming in from TW and Hanbei. You take out 2, you make it a 6v4, and with what Wichita is running, they just run over your front line at that point because they have the speed. Your Orisa Fortify is not really going to do much. So now on the offense for Villanova, they're just going to try all reliable, like we're in the competitive Q and plat. We're going to go Ryan Zarya with the speed, with May. Maybe it works. I don't know. I think if they can get high ground control, maybe it opens up for Nate the Cat to try and get some more of those picks. But that is what they're going to be aiming for here. And again, if they have a game plan, at least they're going to have one. And we've seen it work once in a while for them. So let's see if it works here again.
Yeah, this is going to be the little death ball rolling through for Villanova, and we're going to have to see how the rotations come through and exactly how Wichita State tries to disrupt those rotations, because that's what it's going to be about. And Hanbi goes in a little bit too quickly as TW did not drop, and it's Nate the Cat opening the door for Villanova already. And for this comp, if they could get on top of you, it is going to be quite serious. And they are on top as Dampley does fall off the map, as they were not ready for the immediate push in, as Fluffy Bunny trying to do his best to turn this fight. But once Ryan Zarya get control of the point, it becomes incredibly tough for you to do anything. But Hanbi did come back into the fight, does end up picking up Zens, was incredibly low over on that Mega, and there we go. Wichita State going to be running through with that speed you were talking about, disrupting everything Villanova wanted to do, and they take control right back.
And they just get shot from every single angle imaginable. As that is the beauty of this comp, especially on a map like Volskaya, where you have left side high ground control, right side high ground control. You have that back bridge connecting both. It's just, you can get shot from so many different angles. And with TW having the pile drives that he is having tonight, it is so hard to push in. Villanova, they did have a good start. It was a nice wall. It was a nice early pick and a nice rotation. It's going to come through, though, this time around, and Wichita State is going to read it this time, and now they are trapped in a 64 in that small room, and are at least going to have to try and back up, losing, well, I was going to say as little many as possible, but they still do lose almost 3. They will lose 3, and now they're going to have to reset with half the time gone.
And that was to the point earlier, right? What Hanbi was trying to do, they executed it the second time around. Villanova still did a great job of putting that wall up and try to disrupt, but this time Nate the Cat could not find the stun nor the shot, and the supports drop, and so on and so forth. But now Villanova gets to try it again. Let's see if they take the same path, or maybe they want to go to the opposite side. They seem to really enjoy this. They know the ball drop's going to come in. They might not know about the mines. It does seem to be one of those things that is hard to track, especially on ball, how much value they're getting. But in the meantime, everyone else does seem to be dropping through these rotations. Shields are going down. Sparky just popping off in the backline, able to discord and able to anti. And that's going to be it for Villanova on that push.
Yeah, it's going to get shut down. I would love for them this time around, maybe fake you going that side and swap sides. Try and take the opposite high ground, because Wichita State, they know exactly what you're trying to do. You know, you've tried it, what, 4 times now?
3.
They know what you're doing. So maybe go around left side high ground. You have then Deadeye ready to go. You're going to have ultimates on the ready. Here we go. They're going to start going that way. Wall off. Wall is off. The Tracer trying to get an early elimination, and now they can continue their rotation.
Yeah, love it. Now the damage is going to get poured in. Flux, they had to have known all this was coming. A lot of ults being built up by Wichita, but cannot withstand the damage as it is just being pumped into the rest of the team. Close to 30 seconds left by the time they get back and push in for their next one. They just need to die as fast as possible as Tyler staggers himself out just a little bit too long. It's one of those things where Wichita State knows exactly what you're trying to do, so you just have to execute a little better than them.
Yeah, it's kind of that chess game of like, all right, you know what I'm going to do, but do you really? Because we're going to try and change it up. But Wichita State already knows you're going to try and change it up, so they're predicting the change, and now they're going to go right back to it. They have mines on the ready, probably going to catch them on the second rotation with the mines, As if they live, actually, TW focused down, just gonna get out on the skin of their teeth, and no, oh, there goes Bliss.
Yeah, main problem with Villanova right there is that the main tank got separated. Yes, beautiful pin, very lovely, but in the meantime, everyone else is getting cleaned up in the back line, and we still have mines in the back pocket for TW, so even if this gets risky, which it won't, could still pop mines on the point. And Villanova has the door shut right in their face as Wichita slams it. And they win Volskaya in a very quick fashion.
That might have been one of the best defensive showcases I've seen from a team on this map. Even having the discipline, knowing that we can give up a tick. You play the slow game. You have Hanbei having work in the back. They get 2. TW gets 3 in this fight as they just close in the doors. The walls start closing in. And Villanova at that point, they were legit rats in a maze, it seemed like at that point, because Wichita State knew exactly which way they were going to go every single time, and they had a plan for it. It was great game plans coming in from Wichita, and it's exactly what they needed going into tonight. You know, now you're 11-3. You're in a very good spot in the overall standings. You're still first in the Central, at least entering tonight.
Yep.
So if you can keep that up, you know, entering the Central Conference tournament, you're in a really good spot.
Yep, big to get the wins that you need to be getting, and it really leads into, you know, when the tournament comes rolling around, you'll be in one of those top 5 seeds. And we had the pleasure of seeing some top 5 teams tonight. William & Mary, now Wichita State. Next week we get to see William & Mary again, so that'll be fun. But in the meantime here, we are going to be getting an interview with Wichita State. It's going to be Sparky, so that'll be super interesting to talk to the support lineup again. But we will have to wait until after this quick break while we get Sparky in here. Don't forget, we are coming through with the interview, so join us back in just a minute. Welcome back to the EGF and EGF fans. We do have a special treat for you, having Sparky from Wichita State, the winning team tonight. Sparky, how you feeling after that win?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Very, very good. It's always nice to see you guys come out in a dominant fashion. And with only 4 weeks left in the season, can you tell me a little bit about your guys' confidence level heading into what will be a very exciting playoffs?
I feel like our confidence overall is pretty high, um, but we are a little nervous going in. We're kind of all like new from last year. Like our whole team's basically like new players. So I feel like we've really come together as a team in spite of that, and we're trying to go as far as we can.
A bit of honesty there. I love it. And Sparky, for the playoffs themselves, I really am curious to know, and I should start asking most of the top teams, who are you looking at besides Colorado? Because I think we all know that Colorado is probably the one that most people are looking at to take down. But besides Colorado, who are some of these other teams that we're looking for?
Um, Honestly, I'm not really sure. I know we've got Colorado up there, and then we're just trying to go as far as we can.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
fair. I think that's totally fine. Twin?
yeah, you guys beat them 3-0 last week. Granted, they had a few subs, but you guys still looked extremely clean against them last week. So I'm curious to see how that develops in the Central Conference playoffs. But for you guys looking ahead next week, you play UConn, who is a very good team coming out of the East. How are you guys looking ahead at that match?
I mean, we're a little nervous, but we're just gonna go in there and do our best. Um,
That's honestly it's all you can do. And I guess what was the outlook tonight? As Villanova, they've had a rough season. So was there a certain game plan tonight? Was it kind of just, you know, let's just go out and go through the motions?
um, it was kind of like we're just gonna go and play and like do what we do.
All right. Well, is there anybody you want to shout out, Sparky, as being in the interviewee tonight? Everyone gets a special shout out. Anybody you looking to do?
I'd like to shout out Tim, who is our like team manager.
Oh, awesome.
Shout
Well,
out to him.
thank you, Tim. Anyway, thank you, Sparky, for being with us tonight. We appreciate it, and well done on your victory.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. What an exciting night it was. We had two really great series, and we had four great opponents going against each other. But in the end, it was William and Mary and Wichita State taking over. Twin, before I start on my little, paragraph of things I need to talk about, is there anybody you want to shout out, or is there anything you want to say before I start?
Just shout out a producer, Time Delight. I don't think he gets enough love sometimes. Especially, I know he messes with Sir Waltham and I a lot in the second block. I'm not sure how much he messed with you and Ocean in the first block, but he does his job perfectly. So big shout out to him. But also, if you want to continue watching Time Delight content, we got CS:GO tomorrow, official EGF, as well as League of Legends Saturday, official EGF, Big East Esports on Twitch.tv. We have the EGF Power Series group stage next Friday. It'll be a great Power Series going on. So make sure to sign up for that if you are interested. And if you can't, make sure to watch it as well. And then I guess prepaid, you're going to let them know the game's still going on.
Yeah, I mean, we have University of Tennessee going up against RIT on our official EGF channel. So right after we're done here, need to swap over there, show them some love and support. And then after that game, you'll have Southern Utah versus Colorado, our #1 team in the league. Definitely want to stick around to check them out. And again, a special thanks to everybody. We did have short games tonight because of the MAC Esports Championship taking place at the Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City. So if you have teams there, go ahead and shout them out on Twitter or any socials that you have. And again, thank you so much. Thank you, Intel, for powering the EGF. And for myself, can't wait to see you all next week. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
See ya.